What if the history you trust is merely a fragile shroud designed to conceal a terrifying reality beneath your feet? Deep within the silent, dust-laden subterranean expanse of the Vatican Secret Archives, an ominous structural void remains completely undocumented. Buried 30 meters down, a massive cosmic anomaly defies the known laws of geology and modern territorial physics. Advanced ground-penetrating radar systems recently detected a colossal asymmetrical obsidian monolith frozen in absolute subterranean darkness. This dense geological structure repels electromagnetic waves, entirely paralyzing low-frequency sonar devices deployed by terrified researchers. No human presence disturbs this forbidden sanctuary. Only ancient stone walls witness the heavy, rhythmic pulse of shifting magnetic fields. Thermal imaging scans reveal that the monolith alters its surface temperature in perfect synchronization with the constellation of Orion. This shocking anomaly forces a dark historical skepticism. Was this sacred fortress built for faith or to cage something ancient? Official chronicles have systematically erased the maddening testimonies from the reign of Emperor Nero regarding this specific Vatican hill. Decrypted 11th century Latin codices explicitly designated this exact coordinates as the sovereign gateway to the primordial abyss. In 1939, during deep structural excavations for a papal tomb, heavy drills struck an impenetrable matte black surface. The unknown material shattered the strongest alloy drill bits, prompting an immediate total military seal from the highest authorities. Thousands of tons of dense concrete were poured into the dark chasm to permanently suffocate the chilling discovery. Modern science remains paralyzed, unable to explain how a subterranean stone structure possesses an optically perfect, lens-like molecular finish. This flawless cosmic geometry predates the birth of Roman civilization by countless millennia, shattering our linear timeline. Why did the medieval chroniclers whisper about an unholy substance that completely rejected the touch of blessed iron? Historical archives indicate that early monastic scholars mapping the underworld deliberately hid the true layout of these catacombs. Every layer of excavated soil beneath the basilica reveals an increasingly complex matrix of unnatural geological formations. Secret parchment charts from the 14th century detail a terrifying chamber where compass needles spin completely out of control. This persistent, local, magnetic anomaly forces us to question if an ancient power grid lies buried near the foundations. No human hands could have carved the perfectly interlocking basalt blocks that line this deep, forgotten canal network. The scale of the subterranean walls is utterly micro-engineered, surpassing any known architecture from the ancient Mediterranean world. When early Renaissance explorers lowered lanterns into the deepest vertical shafts, the flames mysteriously suffocated without any gas. A heavy, suffocating silence grips these deeper chambers, where acoustic waves are swallowed by the unusual wall textures. Why did successive papal lineages enforce absolute isolation upon these deep zones, far beyond standard administrative secrecy? The official reason of structural integrity collapses when cross-referenced with private diaries describing terrifying underground rhythmic hums. Is it possible that the entire Vatican Hill is an elaborate lid, clamping down on an active pre-flood engine? Recent low-frequency seismic sensors detected a massive rhythmic vibration originating from the very heart of the obsidian anomaly. The precise mathematical cadence of these deep pulses mimics the rotational spin of distant neutron stars in deep space. Science stands completely helpless as these ancient frequencies continue to vibrate through the foundational stones of the city. What structural anomalies remain deliberately omitted from the architectural blueprints of the Vatican's innermost core? Ancient structural records hidden during the Dark Ages describe an immense vertical abyss splitting the limestone bedrock. Every single geometric shaft plunging beneath the primary altar exhibits flawless mathematical alignments with prehistoric monuments. Declassified seismic logs from late 20th century surveys confirm the presence of 3 massive secondary basalt domes. This dense volcanic masonry repels standard gravitational waves, completely confounding geophysicists operating near the subterranean perimeter. No biological life form can survive the intense, localized barometric shifts echoing through these deep architectural voids. Automated atmospheric scans confirm that the oxygen levels drop to 0 whenever the lunar cycle hits apogee. This terrifying geological precision hints at a cosmic design, an engineered temple keeping a dormant titan silent. Early imperial records from the 3rd century mention dark, metallic chambers excavated long before Rome was founded. Fragmented Greek manuscripts smuggled out of Constantinople explicitly labeled this mound as a lock over primeval chaos. In 1952, specialized seismic resonance tests recorded a massive echo reflecting off an unknown mineral sheet. The unyielding subterranean barrier absorbed the high-frequency shockwaves, causing an immediate permanent closure of the sector. Millions of gallons of liquid clay were pumped down to suffocate the strange acoustic resonance forever. Academic authorities remained completely silent, unable to explain why this deep monument possesses an absolute vacuum seal. This impossible physical architecture shatters our linear historical narrative, demanding a complete rewriting of human origins. What hidden astronomical instruments remain sealed behind the limestone barriers of the ancient subterranean vaults? 8th century records, deliberately omitted from official history, describe a chamber where starlight inexplicably pierces the solid bedrock. Every angular measurement inside this hidden network corresponds perfectly with the precise planetary alignments of forgotten eras. Declassified telemetry charts from deep underground radar surveys confirm a massive, perfectly spherical iron cavity. This dense metallic orb completely dampens local tectonic activity, baffling modern geologists investigating the foundational perimeter. No human voice has ever vibrated within this pitch-black vacuum, where the laws of sound are utterly nullified. Automated thermal sensors indicate that the inner temperature drops to absolute zero whenever solar flares hit Earth. This terrifying mechanical precision suggests an ancient cosmic terminal, silently monitoring the celestial movements above us. Fragmented administrative rolls from the late Roman era mention vast, non-human subterranean structures beneath the city hills. Smuggled texts from the Library of Alexandria explicitly called this specific terrain a lock over pre-cosmic energy. In 1964, specialized acoustic mapping recorded a strange, non-random repeating signal from the bedrock core. The unyielding crystal barrier absorbed all external probe signals, leading to an immediate total restriction of the zone. Massive structural blocks of interlocking granite were slid into place to permanently encapsulate the silent signal. Academic institutions refused to comment, unable to explain why this monument features a total subatomic shielding. This impossible ancient technology completely shatters our accepted historical timeline, proving we are not the first civilization. Why did early cartographers meticulously map an invisible, massive subterranean current flowing directly beneath the Holy Hill? Pre-Roman fragment papers hidden in forbidden archives detail a roaring underground river that defies local geographical gravity. Every single stone aqueduct winding through this pitch-black cavern exhibits an impossibly complex hydrodynamic design from antiquity. Declassified acoustic data from deep geological sonar mapping reveals 3 massive, perfectly concentric, ring-shaped aqueducts. This vast subterranean hydraulic machinery channels a strange, dense fluid that completely absorbs local thermal radiation. No human expedition has ever mapped these flooded basalt tunnels, where heavy, suffocating pressure freezes all movement. Automated chemical sensors indicate that the deep water contains an impossibly high concentration of unrefined primordial isotopes. This terrifying chemical composition points to an ancient planetary system, silently cooling a colossal deep Earth core reactor. Etruscan foundation rolls from ancient centuries mention massive, hollow stone sluices carved long before their civilization arrived. Decrypted monastic texts smuggled from early library cellars explicitly called this deep fluid the blood of old gods. In 1971, deep structural drill probes recorded an immense mechanical hum echoing through the dark aqueducts. The unyielding metallic structural lining completely deflected the diamond-tipped drill bits, forcing an immediate permanent sector evacuation. Millions of tons of heavy lead-infused concrete were poured down to seal the vibrating water channel permanently. Academic institutions remained completely silent, unable to explain why this deep river features an absolute radioactive barrier. This impossible prehistoric infrastructure shatters our primitive linear history, hinting at an advanced pre-flood industrial age. What forbidden mathematical patterns remain etched upon the unyielding granite slabs of the lowest catacomb chambers? 9th century administrative manuscripts intentionally hidden from scholars detail a hall where magnetic poles reverse completely. Every intricate geometric engraving inside this dark labyrinth mirrors the complex orbital pathways of extinct planetary bodies. Declassified telemetry records from deep crust radar surveys confirm a massive, perfectly cubical, crystalline subterranean vault. This dense geological structure repels high-frequency radio waves, entirely paralyzing advanced scientific instruments tracking the perimeter. No biological vocalization has ever cracked this heavy vacuum, where acoustics are swallowed by porous basalt walls. Automated atmospheric logs reveal that the interior pressure increases threefold whenever a total solar eclipse occurs. This terrifying architectural precision suggests a planetary scale machine, silently regulating the tectonic stress beneath us. Fragmented administrative text, scrolls from the late Republic mention vast prehistoric iron foundations under the hill. Smuggled texts from early Mesopotamian temples explicitly called this specific geographical point the anchor of Earth. In 1976, specialized subterranean acoustic mapping recorded a strange, rhythmic mathematical cadence from the core. The unyielding crystal barrier completely deflected the diamond-tipped drill probes, triggering an immediate restriction of information. Massive structural blocks of interlocking black diorite were slid into place to permanently encase the repeating pulse. Government academic committees refused to comment, unable to explain why this deep monument features absolute particle shielding. This impossible ancient technology completely rewrites our primitive historical timeline, exposing a forgotten cycle of advanced civilization. Why did historical geological surveys intentionally misclassify the deep seismological reflection data directly beneath the central cathedral? Pre-medieval ecclesiastical ledgers, hidden from public analysis, describe an immense, hollow space shaped like a reverse-stepped pyramid. Every load-bearing granite column anchoring this deep subterranean network possesses structural stress resilience far exceeding modern industrial standards. Declassified acoustic maps, generated by deep probing ground sonar, confirm a series of massive, perfectly parallel hollow galleries. This dense megalithic architecture houses an immense, unyielding mineral platform that generates a completely uniform local gravity deflection. No human respiration has ever disturbed the heavy, dense atmospheric equilibrium of these deep volcanic rock chambers. Automated gas chromatography equipment records a complete absence of carbon isotopes whenever planetary alignments cross the horizon. This shocking physical stabilization points toward an ancient geoengineering project, silently dampening the core movements of the continent. Early classic chronicles from prehistoric Mediterranean cultures mention a colossal metal foundation anchoring the entire mountain ridge. Smuggled administrative texts from the lost libraries of antiquity explicitly called this massive underground grid the Iron Root. In 1982, specialized electromagnetic wave scanning recorded a massive rhythmic pulse echoing from the deepest strata. The impenetrable mineral barrier totally absorbed the incoming radio frequencies, forcing an immediate, absolute military seal of information. Millions of gallons of high-density silicate slurry were injected into the chasm to permanently suffocate the acoustic anomaly. Academic governing bodies maintain a total, rigid silence, unable to explain why this deep structure deflects cosmic radiation. This impossible ancient architecture shatters our current linear historical paradigm, proving human technology peaked long before history began. What terrifying chronological secrets remain permanently cloaked behind the impenetrable obsidian doors of the lowest levels? 10th century monastic chronicles kept entirely hidden from the public describe a vault where structural mirrors reflect future cosmic events. Every single dynamic crystal lens inside this forgotten chamber perfectly predicts the catastrophic movements of hyperdense dark stars. Declassified telemetry records from deep strata military radar confirm an immense, perfectly geometric mathematical calendar wheel. This dense metallic mechanism completely absorbs local magnetic vibrations, utterly confounding modern engineers studying the structural foundation. No human breathing has ever disturbed this frozen atmosphere, where the flow of entropy seems completely arrested. Automated quantum clock instruments indicate that localized microtime fluctuates erratically whenever galactic centers align with Earth. This shocking structural phenomenon points toward a localized temporal anchor, silently pacing the rotational cycles of our planet. Fragmented administrative tablets from pre-dynastic Mediterranean civilizations mention an immense cosmic mirror buried before the flood. Smuggled texts from ancient Persian archives explicitly named this deep coordinate the true cosmic clock of mankind. In 1988, specialized subterranean frequency scanning recorded a massive, repeating countdown signal from the rock. The unyielding atomic matrix completely reflected all exploratory sonar beams, forcing an immediate, total classification of the data. Massive monolithic slabs of interlocking dark anorthosite were slid into place to permanently quarantine the ticking signal. Academic oversight committees maintain absolute institutional silence, unable to explain why this deep monument alters local atomic decay. This impossible prehistoric calendar entirely dismantles our modern historical paradigm, revealing a terrifying countdown to an end. Why do the ancient blueprints of the foundational pillars completely ignore the standard laws of structural geometry? 12th century mathematical diaries hidden in secure vaults record a room where gravitational pull drops significantly. Every load-bearing monolithic block, flanking this subterranean void, exhibits precise stellar coordinates carved with microscopic accuracy. Declassified telemetry patterns from specialized electromagnetic sensors confirm the outline of an immense circular platform. This hyper-dense geological masonry completely bends incoming radar frequencies, baffling modern research units operating nearby. No human expedition has ever braved these absolute vacuum zones, where sound waves are physically impossible. Automated geological instruments reveal that the bedrock structural tension fluctuates whenever a lunar eclipse occurs. This terrifying mechanical precision implies a planetary defense mechanism, silently monitoring the deep tectonic stress below. Early imperial inscriptions from forgotten eras describe a massive black metallic sphere buried deep beneath the hill. Smuggled administrative texts from ancient libraries explicitly called this massive underground structure the cosmic foundation. In 1994, advanced subatomic particle detectors recorded a rhythmic emission pulsing from the core. The unyielding crystal barrier entirely deflected the specialized testing signals, causing an immediate, permanent sector restriction. Millions of tons of heavy liquid silicate were pumped down to stifle the acoustic resonance permanently. Institutional governing bodies maintain a rigid, complete silence, unable to explain why this monument features subatomic shielding. This impossible physical architecture shatters our current linear timeline, proving an advanced civilization existed before history. Why do the modern global mapping services consistently mask the topography directly beneath these sovereign coordinates? The persistent, unyielding magnetic signature radiating from the core continues to expand slowly into surrounding geological structures. As long as the true nature of this ancient anomaly remains suffocated under thousands of tons of heavy concrete barriers, humanity will remain completely blind to the cosmic terminal, ticking silently right beneath the cradle of Western faith. This documentary is for education only, based on real sources. Theories are not facts.